he was on ball with those crescendos, and they were actually game changing in favor of CLG. Well, I'm wondering if that's going to make all the difference this time, because in the first game we had Afromu tower dive and pick up first blood, and when that happened, he managed to kill off Gosuzuna, so that denied a lot of farm experience on Gosuzuna and allowed Doublelift to swiftly take a huge CS lead. And by taking that huge farm lead, had a huge advantage in items and was able to just burst down whoever he wanted. And Gosuzuna really couldn't do much because he was just so far behind.
Yeah, definitely, and we're seeing that again here. So, but this time it's paired up a little bit better, though. We've got, you said there were game-changing ultimates from Sona, but now we've got it paired up with the first Amumu for CLG that we've seen, and all that AoE to follow up. How do you feel, though? I mean, I know Nasus is definitely the eye-opener in this one, but we've got a full-blown AoE team. Graves, Orianna, Sona, Amumu, and then you've got Nasus, who he's not the guy to get into the back line like a Jax or an Aurelia or an Olaf. He's got to walk there. He's got to get there, and he doesn't have a dash or anything like that. So what do you actually feel his role is going to be when it comes to these team fights? I think that's a serious issue that we have to look at now, because, yeah, he's an eye-opening champion to have in this game, but does he actually fit this comp?
You can make most champions work with your comp, provided like 3 to 4 out of 5 have good synergy. I mean, it's always optimal to have all 5 champions working well, but you can throw Katarina into essentially any team comp, even if she doesn't have, if you don't have many tanky champions, you can just use her to absolutely snowball your team or snowball her individually and wipe through a team comp. So it's not incredibly important to have full synergy, but it's always a good idea.
Yeah, definitely agree with that. So, I mean, very good point. We're going to jump into this one, though, and definitely an exciting one. I mean, this is the EPS, or the NESL's EPS, and it's the third place match here, CLG versus FeaR. Really big game, and what a better way to go about it than with bringing in a shocker character like this Nasus. I still think he's going to get camped by Xmithy, but who knows? Let's get ready to rock in this one. Nubius, man, I am definitely stoked.
The thing is, if he tries to camp that Nasus, that's going to allow Doublelift and Pobelter to do work in their own lanes. And we saw how super effective Doublelift was, just being left on his own. Even though Afromu was forced out of lane a couple times, even took a death or two, Doublelift was so potent in that farming. And I'm very interested to see how he's going to play against this Twitch, because Twitch kind of squishy early on. Even with that stealth, Graves has a good amount of AoE, and Doublelift's mechanics, I just can't stop talking about his mechanics. They're so strong that he'll see Twitch stealth and maybe be able to predict where he's going and still burst him down. So we'll see how that one works out.
Yeah. All right, so we've got a sapling being tossed out there and control being taken of the enemy jungle right now. Muffin Cutie getting in there with a lot of ward control right now. And it seems like Amumu's now are starting up on that red side, which Amumu, kind of one of the champions, if he's going to get a fast jungle clear, he really wants to have that blue buff with him. He gets that enrage off faster. Of course, he's got the cooldown coming from every auto attack that hits him, but it gets it off a lot faster, and it ensures that he's going to have enough mana when he gets out of the jungle to have those ganks happen. So, but a lot of them are starting red side, and FeaR definitely taking note of this. They ward up that red side for CLG, but it looks like Chauster is going to go ahead and start on the... I'm not even sure where he's going.
Chauster? He looks like he's probably going to be starting that red buff, maybe doing the same path that FeaR did last game, where they went for double golems and then red, but see, the Wraiths and the red buff are both warded. But when it starts red, it's actually essentially the same clear time, because the auto attack's applying that red debuff. And they do like to start red because it gives the AD and support the ability to take those wolves, and the advantage that you gain from that is much better than, let's say, having a mana pool on your Mumu, because his ganks aren't super effective early on to begin with, so you're better off giving your AD and support a little bit of an advantage, and you're still able to clear through your jungle in a good amount of time. But as you see here, he's doing the same thing that FeaR did last game, going around the wards, even though he was doing the red. He's going to go down, possibly see if he can pick up the wolves, but he doesn't know the wolves are gone. They will most likely not be up in time, so he's going to go straight for this blue. And once he picks up that blue, he could actually go straight for a gank in the bottom lane. But they do have a lane swap. We have Nunu and Twitch going up against Hotshot as Nasus. And by doing so, it may force Hotshot to max out the Spirit Fire first, just so he can get in the CS he requires. We'll see where he does go with that one, though.
Yeah, this is definitely a smart play here from FeaR. I'm sure, you know, maybe they thought Nasus would be a pretty decent idea, but when you're up against a Nunu and any range AD carry, you're going to be taking quite a beating here. Down bottom lane, though, Doublelift and Aphromoo are opting to freeze the lane, whereas the opposite of that is kind of happening in the top lane. A lot more pushing happening, and actually Zuna has blue buff, and Psycho Squid has red buff, so Xmithy not getting any experience from those buffs. This is an interesting opener here right now, and I don't know how well it's going to work out for them. And you said their Spirit Fire has got a point in it right now. He's trying to farm up. He's got his Q online, and he takes the advantage of that new patch, uses the Q to farm up that cannon minion.
Yeah, and actually, the reason why they gave Psycho Squid that red buff was for what they're doing exactly right now. Early gank in the bottom lane going on to Aphromoo.
Yeah, and here we go. Aphromoo will get away from this one. It seems like he's firing out even more damage. He gets that empowered auto attack off. There's the first blood flash forward. Red buff going on to Doublelift. That is not something you want to see. And actually, Nasus is in the fray as well. Double kill for Doublelift. Go figure. This guy just filling out his pockets right now. Loading up with gold, and he's going to have a huge advantage. Not to mention this bottom tower is more likely than not going to get chiseled away very, very quickly right now. Buckshot goes across, and he will CS this wave perfectly and just starts drilling down on this one. Mid lane looks like Kale beating on Pobelter, who, by the way, started with Command Protect and tried to take a little bit less damage, but Kale mid just so strong these days.
Yeah, and Chowster with the good enough awareness. I'm sure Hotshot made the call saying he was teleporting down. Chowster going up, saving that top tower. So 2 kills for nothing. FeaR not getting anything out of that teleport from Nasus. And Nasus going to be picking up a cloth armor. And actually, he already had the cloth armor going for boots now. So he's going to try to do what he can to get in and out of the lane to farm in between the snowballs from Muffin Cutie. But now Doublelift, 2 kills going for it. He already had the Doran's Blade going straight for BF Sword. Oh man, Pobelter cleaning up Kale already. Very, very nicely done.
Yeah, and that was a beautiful timing from Pobelter, making sure that Kale's E was offline and use that small gap of time. For any of you who play Kale, you can have your E online for like 80% of the time, but when it's down, it just feels so bad. So just utilizing that time very effectively. Pobelter comes out, but top lane, there's going to be a gank happening. Goes to Zuna, sorry, forced to cleanse and flash away from that one. A scary situation for him, and that's going to be a decent situation for Hotshot, but he's at 10 CS right now versus the opposite end with 17 CS. There's a death on Jarvan, but not looking so good. Though top lane, another gank happening here. With only the blue buff, though, for Chowster, and this is actually not looking so good. They don't know where Ghost Suzuna is. They finally spot him out. There's the Wither going down, and Muffin Cutie just tanking that front line. Great job there.
Yeah, so this gold lead is actually fairly tremendous early on, and Jarvan is outfarming Nasus a little bit, but at the same time, Hotshot has that assist, so just taking a look at their gold, they are still fairly even. Jarvan has just about a 70 gold advantage. It's nothing too tremendous, but the big deal is going to be, is Nasus able to get the Qs that he needs? Kale's still trying to be a little bit aggressive, pushing up the lane bit by bit, trying to do what they can, seeing if he can deny any bit of harm to that tower. And right now, oh man, Doublelift once again being such a dominant force in that bottom lane.
49 CS on the opposite end, 40 CS for the Twitch, and Jarvan with 24 versus 23. So the top laners kind of balancing out, and almost balance out for the bottom lane as well. Just Doublelift working his way up there so quickly. He's got that buckshot, leveled up to level 3 right now, and he's just clearing waves so quickly. And now actually Dragon being forced out, 7-minute mark. These guys right on top of the ball, making sure to take every advantage possible, already with a 2,300 gold lead before the Dragon goes down.
Yep, and this is being made possible, number one, because Doublelift has such early damage. Number two, Sona, with her aura of perseverance, she's able to reduce the damage that Dragon does. I don't know how many people know that one, but it's a very, very cool tip because it allows you to secure very early dragons just because of damage reduction, even if it's only for 2 seconds. Oh my god, that damage from Hotshot combined with a tower shot. So much on the Ghost of Zuna, but this top tower should be going down in a little bit of time, probably after this wave pushes in, but all the while CLG in the mid lane doing what they can to try to push this up as well.
Yeah, and top lane actually forcing out the exhaust there. Nasus uses his ultimate as well as the Wither, trying to get some damage done to Zuna. Not working out so well. Turret goes down, and this might be a bad situation here. Chouster turns things around, though. Bandage Toss is going to miss as Muffin Cutie just kind of squeaks out that last little bit of distance. Gets away from that one. So situation top lane, very, very hostile, though the turret does finally go down. Things are balanced in terms of turrets, though the global gold from Dragons certainly spelling a good lead here for CLG.
And now teleport for Nest is going to be up in the next few seconds, so we could be seeing a huge engagement shortly with that top tower going down, top and bottom tower going down. Assuming both those laners stay in the lanes, they'll actually be able to free farm with the lanes being pushed up like that. But it does seem like Hotshot's going to go down in the bottom lane to hold that tower, and a new Twitch. Or they're going to be picking up a red buff. Except he's going to donate that buff to Ghost of Zuna. And this could actually spell trouble for Hotshot, because if Maokai does decide to come down, this could be a 3-man dive with that red buff and all the true damage plus expunge. You can see Twitch absolutely melting Hotshot shortly.
Yeah, and Twitch hasn't been spotted yet. He comes out and he starts dealing out the damage. Red buff procs go down as well as the poison stacks there, so Hotshot will go down to just above half HP. And like you said, man, Twitch, he's going to be a real terror relatively soon. His CS not quite on par with Doublelift, but he's certainly doing a lot better than he did last time. 66 to 72 right now. Muffin Cutie going in for the dive right now. Chouster, though, is there to follow this up. Where's the ultimate? There it is. And Hotshot GG will not pick up that kill. Tower shot not doing quite enough. Smithy walks away, just barely having enough life to survive that. And now everything will stabilize back again. And 3 characters still in this bottom lane. A really tense situation happening there.
That actually may have been an immediate victory for FeaR, as we see Mandatory Cloud engaging on a Pobelter, doing what he can to harass. Even though Maokai was forced to use his flash, the Moo ultimate went down, so that's going to prevent lots of map pressure from Chouster at this point in time, because the strength of Moo's ganks is from Curse of the Sad Mummy. Surely he can land a bandage toss and whatnot, but without that ultimate, it's going to give FeaR a peace of mind knowing that they don't have to worry about a big Moo gank for the next couple minutes.
Yeah, it's going to be a nice situation, and in fact, Doublelift and Afromu kind of getting ahead of themselves here, going really deep on that, though they trust the fact that Pobelter is going to follow out Mandatory Cloud, and he does exactly that with Jarvan and Maokai trying to defend this top lane. Looks like Chouster and Hotshot GG kind of turn themselves into a duo lane, and another ultimate being burned here for GG, and he's not going to really take too much of an advantage off that one, though 52 CS is not even so bad now that the lanes have re-swapped back down to top-bottom.
And now, Hotshot on Nasus, he actually did opt to max Spirit Fire first. His goal is just to get farm. It doesn't matter if he gets the last hit on the Q. His Q is actually at plus 97 right now, so doing decently. 10 minutes into the game, it's actually very, very strong. And
yeah,
in the mid lane,
dunking down here, or getting dunked on rather, by Mandatory Cloud. The ultimate coming out from Orianna. That's going to be enough. And Chouster will pick up the kill as intervention just not quite online yet. So nice play there from Pobelter, really just doing work against this Kale, who for the most part has just been completely slamming down on the Orianna player here. So, you know, I have to say, really good job there from Pobelter, just finding every advantage possible and utilizing the fact that her teammate was right there.
And the big play on Pobelter's part was he managed to dance in and out of the bush. So every time Kale went for that final auto attack to clean up, she ran back in the bush and was denied. And in turn, Kale wasn't able to chase that much because Chouster was kind of holding her there. And the big key as to why that play happened, though, there are no wards in the mid lane. And I think that Pobelter took notice. Chouster also realized Kale was pushing out quite a bit and didn't back off when Mumu walked up there. So just walked right in and went for the gank. So very nicely done on CLG's side.
Yeah, it's working very well for them. Now the gold advantage is 5,000 for CLG right now. What do you think is going to be kind of the door that opens here for FeaR if they're going to try to find their way back into this?
We may be seeing FeaR try to contest Dragon because Kale, even though she's died twice, is still getting decently strong. She has most that's the stinger complete. Ooh, but huge engage on Smithy right now. The intervention going down on him.
Yeah, Smithy will actually, oh, beautiful twisted advance onto the Wraith Camp. Not going to be enough, though. FeaR Muffin Cutie is in that brush. Gets ulted by Orianna, so cancels his own ultimate. Orianna will go down on the back end of that, but Nunu to follow up. So Graves picks up yet another double kill for himself. Up to 4-0 at this point. 112 CS. Double lift, double lift, double lift. Just rolling forward with this one. Picking himself up quite a few kills, and the ward over the wall is going to spot out Mandatory Cloud. Double lift, unstoppable at this point, and really just raking in the gold for his team right now. Has that Bloodthirster, working his way up to level 2 boots, and right now he's got 1,600 in the bank, 6,100 gold across the board, whereas the next best on his team has 4,600. This is just brutal, and now another dragon for them. CLG, man, just steamrolling forward for this one. So what was that you were saying about how they're going to how FeaR's going to find their way back into this one?
Well, their option, they need to contest this Dragon, but now like having Smithy get caught out, that might be the nail in the coffin at this point in time, because let's see, CLG, they already have a 7,000 gold lead, 13 minutes in, 2 dragons already. Not even the 20-minute mark. We haven't even passed the 15-minute mark. So they could potentially have 3 dragons before 20 minutes. 3,000 extra global gold on top of all the towers they've taken already. Let's see, they have bottom tower gone, middle tower tier 1 gone, and the top tier tower is gone, as top tier 1 tower is also gone. 6 kill advantage, and then on top of all of that, they're also picking up a farm advantage. Nasus is actually out farming Jarvan right now, so this is getting very scary. Nasus finishing up 2 cooldown items, Glacial Shroud and Kettle Gem, so we'll be able to spam out those Qs, the Siphon Strikes, and I believe that's going to be, close to a 2-second cooldown? Oh, it's only at rank 2. I keep forgetting he went for Spirit Fire first, but it was at rank 5. It would be close to like a 3.25-second cooldown, so it'd essentially be able to last hit every single creep in away with that Q.
Yeah, and that's kind of where you don't want the enemy Nasus to be at. And he is building tanky right now, probably going to work his way up to a Frozen Heart, maybe a Randuin, something like that. But he does have the Glacial Shroud on himself right now. It's going to be hard to take him down, but in the same regard, Nasus, the reason he's not picked is he can't really get in to get damage done. So, you know, I mentioned at the beginning stages of this game, he doesn't fit the team comp all that well. And you said it doesn't necessarily matter, but I just can't imagine how he's going to get in there and get damage done for his team. Yes, he's going to be tanky, and maybe that's going to be good enough, but why Nasus of all the characters that you could choose?
Well, I'll tell you why. Because they have huge initiation between Mumu and Orianna. Bandage, toss, Curse of the Sad Mummy into the Orianna ultimate. Then Nasus, even though late game he gets very big on AD, his ultimate and Spirit Fire, it shreds a huge amount of armor. That Spirit Fire red card does a huge amount of armor shred, so that's playing into double his hands right there perfectly. Combine that with his ult and the Spirit Fire, those are doing a lot of magic damage. So late game Nasus is one of the scariest champions in the world, and he'll also be able to get in the middle of a team fight because of the synergy between Mumu and Orianna.
Yeah, that's a good call, and maybe that's part of the reason why he leveled up that Spirit Fire, because that will be kind of the AoE to add to your team. But let's see how well that's going to work out. And we've got, you know, a team like this enemy team who can really dish out just tons and tons of damage on the back end. Oh my god, though, lots of... Speaking of damage going on to Zuna here, it looks like it's working out pretty well. Chaucer with the flash forward and the ultimate is going to get quite a bit of damage done here, but double lift actually on the back end is really, really doing a lot of damage. Wither coming down onto Maokai. It's going to slow him down enough to pick up the kill for Pobelter. Pobelter, speaking of which, pushing forward here. Command attack and protect is going to help in the process of picking up this kill for double lift. One more tower left before they pick up this inhibitor, though Zuna is trying to chase these guys out right now. He didn't have enough time to heal himself up to full, and he doesn't have enough mana to push these guys off either. So, and really, double lift is a scary, scary force. If you noticed, in the midst of all that fighting, yes, there was a lot of CC done, and Orianna did a great job there, but double lift dished out so much damage with his AoE burst, and he just was left alone in the middle of that fight.
And he actually took time to finish off that tier 2 mid tower while all that fighting was going on. And that was very crucial because if they left that tower up for that long, the tower will progressively do more and more damage to the person. It focuses every single hit doing that much more. And that could have turned the tide in favor of FeaR right there, because if it was focusing Moo initially, and then I think it turned onto Pobelter on Orianna. And if Orianna did go down, I don't think Doublelift would have been able to last to hang around that fight as long as he did.
Yeah, that's definitely a good point. And I think one of the major determining factors in the midst of all that, and why Graves was able to just stick around the back lane there is, I don't think it comes down to one character. I think even the Wither getting in there, as well as all that CC, and actually the Orianna ult was beautiful. Everything just worked out really well for them. So I can't really boil it down to one thing in particular here. But this push is going to continue coming in forward here. CLG looks like they're leaning more towards that top side. I would agree more so with them pushing down top turret than going directly for this inhibitor. Though with this much of a gold lead, you can't really argue with any option that they're going to take here. Unfortunately, we're not seeing that super powerful Kale that we've seen from so many games recently, and it's kind of an unfortunate spot for her. Mandatory Cloud as well, just having a great performance in all of these games. One more turret going down here, 3-11 the kills, and a 12,000 gold lead. The push will just continue forward here.
The scariest factor about this for FeaR is CLG is fighting in Xmithy's ultimate, which reduces damage by 20%, and it's still not even making a dent.
Yeah, and there's the ball carrier from Chaucer, who's going to fight a 4v3, uses his ultimate after Orianna's. This is just ridiculous. We saw Chaucer walking around there by his lonesome and just gets the work done. Psycho Squid goes down, and a double kill for Orianna, full-blown ace. GG's coming out a little bit preemptively. I think the surrender vote should be up relatively soon. A beautiful game from CLG. Where did it all go wrong?
20 minutes in, they can't even surrender, not even 20 minutes in. So we're just going to see them clean up these towers. And it went wrong with the double kill in the bot lane. FeaR kind of based their whole strategy with the lane swap on Jarvan having the red buff and securing a kill with Maokai. When that didn't happen, it kind of spun the game completely out of control.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And we are seeing now, like you said, it's before the 20-minute mark, so it's not going to end quite yet. Everybody just kind of getting into a friendly little dance party here. Psycho Squid rolling around HSGG. Well, a little bit trollsy. They're beating down on him, but Nasus dance a little bit too OP. This is ridiculous. They can't even... Quite a way to go down.
There's the surrender vote, man. CLG doing incredibly well. Doublelift, his back has got to be feeling pretty sore right now.
All right, awesome. Sweet deal. So down it goes. CLG takes that one in a pretty dominating fashion, 15,000 gold.